All right, we are live. Hello, CMA seniors and juniors. Welcome to our first official parent meeting night of the 2021 school year. We do these meetings, and you all probably know better than the meeting we just finished, which was our 9th and 10th graders, but you all are probably familiar with these grade level meetings that we do each year. CMA is so unique in what we do and in our goal and our purpose as a school that we often have very specific information to give to each of our grade levels, whether that's 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. So we have had these meetings every year as a way for us to give you specific information that pertains to your scholar, depending on what grade they're in. So welcome to our first official one of the year. We decided this year to combine you all, your 11th and 12th graders, together into one meeting because we feel like that there's a lot of information that's going to be pertinent for both of you, both your 11th and 12th graders, and even if the information does not directly pertain to you right now, I'm talking specifically to you 11th graders, it'll be good for you to hear some of this information that the 12th graders are hearing so that you can have it on your mind as you move towards your senior year next year, which is going to be here before you know it. So thank you all for joining. For those who don't know, I'm Mr. Mosley, Matt Mosley. I am the new principal at CMA. I am also joined tonight with the rest of our administrative team that I'll introduce here in a second. We'll start with Mr. Vickers, who most of you already work with, but you are live, sir.
Hello, I'm Brandon Vickers, Dean of Students here at Career Magnet Academy. I primarily work with the dual enrollment students, but I work with every student here at CMA as well. So thank you for coming out this evening.
Next, we've got Mr. Cameron Mulchan. You are live.
Hello. Cameron Mulchan here. I'm the magnet facilitator, which means I'm primarily in charge of recruiting each year's class. So we should be taking applications here around the second week of October. So if you have friends or family who might be interested in CMA, send them my way.
And finally, we've got Miss Ann Orpert. You are live.
Hi. All right. Hi, everybody. I am Ann Orpert. I am the school counselor for the kids here. You know, I work with schedules, whether it's CMA or Pellissippi, work with students if they're struggling with anything, academic, personal, it doesn't matter. I'm here to support you as well. So if there's anything you need, please reach out and welcome any new families that we have. We are very glad you're here. Strange year as it may be, but we'll figure it out. Thanks.
So once again, just to reiterate that this is information that we are relaying to you that's specific to your scholar's needs. So I promise to make it quick. We're going to dive into this. It may seem like a lot coming at you at one time, but I am going to put these presentations up on our website here in the near future so that if you feel like you missed anything or didn't fully understand what we were saying, that you can go dig into that on your own time. And hopefully get the answers to your questions. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start our presentation here. This is your junior senior presentation for the 2021 school year. So first and foremost, we are a high school. We're a magnet school, and we have a little bit different approach and a different goal with what we do. But our main goal, above all else, is to graduate you from high school and to get you that degree. So are you on track to graduate? This is a good time for you to be thinking about that. It's never a bad time to be thinking about that, but as you are juniors and seniors, it is go time. So the graduation requirements for Knox County, Tennessee are 4 English credits. You have 1 every year of high school. 4 math credits. 1 math must be beyond Algebra 2, and then 1 every year in high school. World History / Geography, U.S. Government, U.S. History and Economics. Those are all classes that you are going to be taking if you're not already. 3 lab science credits, chemistry, biology, plus an additional science. Personal finance, wellness, and PE. Those are not the same class. Those are 2 different classes. 2 world language credits of the same language and 1 fine art credit, which probably would be theater. An elective focus, which means you've got 3 electives that are in the same area, or an expanded elective focus if you do not complete the world language or the fine art combination, then you have to have taken the ACT test and you have to have taken the civics test. And we're going to talk about each of those in more detail here in just a minute. Seniors, this is for you. Juniors, listen up because you're going to be hearing this too. The ACT will be offered at school for no charge on Tuesday, September 22nd. If you are not, or if you're a senior and you have never taken this test, you have to come that day to take it, whether you are virtual or in person, because it is a graduation requirement. And there is no option for a virtual ACT, unfortunately. We wish that there was, but there's not. So again, September 22nd, if you have never taken the ACT and you're a senior, you have to come to school to take that test on that day. If you've taken the test, you may take it again for free and hopefully improve on those scores to help you in whatever colleges you're looking at or scholarships that you're pursuing. Typically in the past, we have done our pre-fill information like the day before, where you bubble in your name and all your personal information. We're not going to do that this year, just because of the fact that we're trying to, maintain social distancing and have our virtual students on campus as little as possible. But we will do all that in the same day. So with that said, it may take a little bit longer than usual. So we're asking all of our students that are taking that day to be at CMA at 9 a.m. and plan to stay until 2 p.m. So seniors only, September 22nd, 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. If you have never taken the test before, you are required to come on that day to take it, whether you're virtual or in person. Civics exam. There is also a mandatory civics test that you have to take as a graduation requirement. To take that test, you're going to be able to log on to your Canvas, and you should see a class called Civics Graduation. Within that, you should be able to take that civics test. Please take it ASAP. Most seniors have not taken that test yet. Juniors, however, you probably have taken it already. That was something that was implemented a little bit further into your high school career for you seniors. So you may not have had a chance to take that yet. Check your Canvas pages. If you have a class called Civics Graduation, then you need to hop in there and you need to take that test as soon as possible because you have to take it before you graduate. This is a huge part of these years of high school in your life. There is an amazing amount of information and requirements and expectations and all these things that go into not just being a high school student, but being a CMA high school student who is also taking classes at a college. We have to relay all kinds of important information to you. So it's extremely important that we have established clear and straightforward communication with our parents. We do that in a number of different ways. We try to get you any way that you can. So first off, we always will have announcements on our CMA homepage. That's knoxschools.org/career magnet. That's our homepage. So always check that for up-to-date information. I do phone calls and emails and texts from School Messenger. I'm sure you guys have gotten those already. If you're not getting those, please give us a call at the school so we can get you opted in to School Messenger. That is the best way to get up-to-date info. And this year, above all else, there may be times when we receive information from the districts that we need to get to you immediately, if not just very, very quickly. And the best way for us to do that is through our School Messenger. So if you've not been receiving those, I've been doing them a lot. So you should be receiving them. But if you're not, let us know and we'll get you into those. Parent newsletter. We will be sending out a regular parent newsletter. I know that we are in the process of getting that organized and set up. So if you've not received those yet, then obviously our social media. We're on Twitter at CMA Counseling or CMA_PC or PSEC_KCS, or on Facebook. We even have an Instagram account, so check it out there. Miss Orpert also set up some specific remind accounts for each grade level. And that's going to be sort of like what we're doing tonight. It's going to be a great way for us to drill in and really get information to who it needs to get to by grade level. So if you have not already, seniors and senior parents, go ahead and sign up for that remind. It's super easy. All you do is you send a text, the @ 29D9K6F, and you just text that to the number 81010. And again, don't feel like you have to hurry and write this down super fast. I'm going to put this presentation up on our website. That way you can download it, and you can get that information from there. So juniors, you have the same thing. There will be a remind account for you. It's just a different message that you text to 81010. But join those if you haven't already, because we will be using those regularly to get you guys pertinent information. Finally, parents, check your students' Aspen portal and your D2L if you're already in Pellissippi for grades. There is no law saying that you cannot get in there and understand what's going on at both the CMA level and the Pellissippi level. It starts with you all. It starts with you all being on top of it and holding your students accountable, making sure that they are doing what they need to do. We have supports at school. Obviously, we've got the Dean of Students, Mr. Vickers. We've got Ms. Orphan, we've got myself. These are all support systems to get students through those grades and through those classes, especially at the Pellissippi level. But without that support at home, there's only so much we can do. So I would encourage you, get information from your students on how to access their Aspen if you haven't already, so that you can know what's going on with their grades. Ask for their D2L information as well. That's the Pellissippi level info. Your role as a parent, you are the commander-in-chief. You're the travel agent, you're the chief financial officer, you're the persnickety proofreader, and you're the database administrator. Like I was just saying a second ago, you are as much a part of this process as any of us are, especially this year, where many of us are, we're virtual. I know that your Pellissippi classes are almost completely virtual. So that takes a certain level of commitment and a certain level of support from you all at home to make sure that works and that the students are not missing anything or falling through the cracks. So we value your involvement so much, and we want to be able to help you be involved as much as possible. So don't be afraid to jump in with both feet. Let us know if we can help you. If you're not sure how to access certain things, we can try to point you in the right direction. Seniors, what should I be thinking right now as we are in September 15th of 2020? Do I want to go directly into the workforce, join the military, go to a university, community college, or technical school? What am I doing to achieve that goal? Y'all, it is go time. We are here. It's no more of this kind of theoretical pie in the sky talking about the future. It is here. So what are you doing at this moment in the fall semester of your senior year to get you towards those goals? This year will be over before you know it. It's hard to believe we're already halfway through semester already. Fall break's going to be here in the blink of an eye. So don't wait to decide that you're going to get your stuff together and start really working towards those goals. Do it now. What college deadlines should I be aware of? What scholarships are available? Again, it is time to talk about that stuff now. Don't be putting it off. Have I signed up for TN Promise Scholarship? What are the attitudes, behaviors, and skills needed for post-secondary success? That's one of the goals that we try to have at CMA. We do that through AVID. We do that through a few different places, but we want to prepare you all, not just for getting good grades, but we try to give you the life skills you need so that you are successful, not just upstairs in your classes, but in whatever life goals you're setting for yourself. So be thinking about those things now, don't wait. What else should seniors be thinking about? If I go to school, where am I applying? What are those application deadlines? Do I meet the minimum admission requirements? Will my social media posts negatively impact my college admissions? Yes, that is real. That's not something we make up. You absolutely can influence whether or not you'll be admitted into a school based on how you represent yourself in social media. That is extremely important. I need to complete my resume. What are my leadership experiences? Do I have full part-time employment? What clubs have I been in? What honors and awards? It is time to start thinking about those things. So don't be putting those things off. Juniors, you'll be thinking about those things we just talked about soon enough, but here are some things that you can be thinking about right this second. Should I or could I take a college class next semester? Am I qualified? Are scholarships available for juniors? What are the deadlines? What are some possible plans for after high school? This is another one. that we just talked about. What are the attitudes, behaviors, and skills needed for post-secondary success? Am I keeping a resume of all my activities, clubs, and work experience? If not, start immediately, now. I will pause. Any input from Ms. Orford or Mr. Molchan or Mr. Vickers at this point?
No, I think you've said it all very well.
Well, thanks. I'm reading the presentation that you all have put together so well. So you're doing great. College and the ACT. What score do I need? This is important. 19 is needed to register at Pellissippi with no remedial courses. A 21 is needed for the Hope Scholarship. This is something to keep in mind. The average score of a UT Knoxville freshman is a 27 super scored. For those of you who have taken the ACT and you're going to take it again, the retake date is, like I said, the 22nd of this year, this semester, in just a week or two, not far at all. That's for in-person and virtual students. The junior ACT, that's going to be March of 21, and we will do that also in school because there is no virtual option. So the junior ACT will be in March of next semester. Talking about college and career plans. These are some things to think about in terms of trends of admissions for colleges, canvassing several different colleges that are in the area, and how important, certain aspects of what you're doing now are. So, if you're taking a college prep class, you can look through all these things when I put the presentation up online, but this is just a good way for you to sort of look and see, these things that we're talking about, they're not pretend, these are weighted, important factors that factor into whether or not a college will even consider you for admittance. So, you can see there the ACT and the SAT, those are huge factors. Your ability to write, compose an essay, that's a huge part of your admittance process. It's not just something that we make you do for the fun of it. You need those skills, and we do them, throughout your high school experience as a way to prepare you to be able to submit those things and to be able to interact at the college level. For those who have taken English upstairs or any class upstairs, probably for the most part. Psychology, I know, does writing. There are lots of different situations upstairs where you are going to be required to not just write, but write well, and write in specific formats with specific expectations. So I would just encourage you to take a look at this, take a screenshot if you want to, or browse through the presentation later when I upload it. But this is a good screen, kind of a good snapshot of how important the things that you do now are when you get down the road and you're applying for colleges. We are encouraging you guys to visit colleges and to start getting an idea of where you might want to go. So in order to do that, we've sort of set aside some time throughout the year for you to be able to do that and have excused absences. So seniors, you are allowed to take up to 2 days excused each year for visits. There's a form on our website you can download. Juniors, you can take a 1 day excused absence per year for a college visit. You can go online to the college website to set up a time. Consider going to an open house event or a virtual open house designed specifically for high school seniors. This year, obviously more than ever, there's going to be a lot of different ways for you to interact with those colleges. There may not be just a general open house that you can attend, but I can guarantee you that colleges and universities are working harder than ever to ensure that their enrollment is staying where it needs to be. So they will offer those virtual options for you. You just need to do some digging to find out what those are and how you can participate in them. But we want you to be doing that. So questions to ask when you take those visits. What are some of the most popular majors? How many students do you have that major in any one specific area? What courses do freshmen who major in blank take? What services and supports are available to those who are undecided about their major? And then what activities can I get involved in on campus? College application basics. There's an online application for almost every school you find out there. You're going to need to know your social security number. You'll need to have some sort of credit card ready for an application fee. Some schools may waive that fee. Doesn't hurt to ask. The worst they can say is no, but it's good to have a card or some sort of way to pay for that if they need to. Have a list of activities that you've done ready, or a resume ideally, and then familiarize yourself with the specifics of each application before the due date. Don't wait until 8 o'clock before it's due at midnight to start going through this and decide what you need. Is there an essay required? Is there a letter of recommendation? Guys, this is one that I can say that every one of us here at the school has gotten a last minute request for a letter of recommendation. Sometimes we can help you with that. More than often, we can't. So if you need a letter of recommendation, you need to find that out beforehand, and you need to give whoever you're asking that for, whether you're asking one of us at the school or a high school teacher or a school from somewhere else, whatever, you need to be able to submit that request to them in a timely manner, so that they can really put some legitimate effort into that letter of recommendation for you, and not just have to whip something out because they didn't know before it was due 2 hours later. So you're not going to be able to write an essay that's worth anything, in an hour before it's due. So do a little bit of digging, do some work, do some research, find out what you need to know before you get there so that you're ready when the time comes. The college essay is no joke, okay? College admissions counselors are looking for students who write well. With that in mind, allow yourself plenty of time to write it and revise it. Parents, get in there and proofread it over and over again. Follow the prompt. What is it asking of you, right? Don't just get off on a tangent and start talking about yourself. More often than not, the prompt is a specific question that you need to address. So know what that is and address that prompt in your essay. Be creative, be honest, but be genuine. Ensure that somebody else reads it. Maybe an English teacher, maybe a parent, maybe someone else who's going through the same admissions process. But the more eyes you can get on it, the better. Take it seriously. Do not have grammatical errors. Don't use text talk. Don't do, some of the things that you would just do casually as you're talking with friends. You need to think about this as something that's really going to represent you as a student, and give this school the best idea of, what you're bringing to the table in terms of your ability and your academics. Circling back around to recommendation letters. Does the college specify who should write the letter? Does it need to come from a teacher, from a school counselor, from an administrator? Look into that. No, so you know beforehand. Requesting a recommendation. I just mentioned this a second ago. Give at least 2 weeks notice. Provide a resume or a list of activities so that the person writing it can talk about those things. Always ask. Don't just send an email saying, I need this from you by this time. Ask. Waive the right to read it. That may be kind of hard because you want to see what's said about you, but that makes it a little bit awkward sometimes for the person writing it. They want to be straightforward and honest, but waiving your right to read it is a good thing. It's going to help the process. How will the letter be submitted? Do you need to email it? Do you need to use an online form? Not all colleges require a letter. Some scholarship applications do. So again, that falls on you to do the research beforehand and really understand what it is they're looking for. So you submitted your application. Awesome. Now what? Send a transcript with your test scores. You can request that on the counseling page by filling out a form. ACT scores may also need to be sent directly, so you need to understand where those need to go. Send your transcripts from Pellissippi separately. Those will be two separate things, CMA and Pellissippi. Those are not the same school. Parents cannot request a transcript for a student. The student has to do that themselves. Does the college have a separate scholarship application? When's the deadline and what is required? Again, just doing your legwork beforehand. All right, last section, Financial Aid 101. Seniors, you're going to want to know this, I promise. FAFSA night, we're going to have a FAFSA night, October 22nd from 4 to 7 p.m. That is where we're going to help you go through and make sure you have signed up for the FAFSA. There are some things that you'll need to bring, okay? Create your student and parent FAFSA IDs before you come. You see the bold do now? Don't do that when you get there. Do that before you come. And then when you come, bring these things with you. Your social security number, the parent's social security numbers if you're a dependent, your driver's license if you have one, your alien registration number if you're not a U.S. citizen, and then federal tax info from 2019 for students and parents. Again, I'm going to put this presentation up on the website, so you'll be able to go through and get those if you need it. But just to put that in your brain, again, the 22nd of October will be here before you know it. It's going to be here next month. So know that we are having that night. I'll be sending out information more specifically about that as we get closer. But we'd love to make sure that you are signed up for that FAFSA when the time comes. Why complete the FAFSA? Why is it so important? Why do we have a night? You must complete it in order to claim the TN Hope or the TN Promise money. You're going to want that money. So if you don't fill out the FAFSA, you're not in the running to get that money. You may also qualify for federal or state money in the form of grants or loans. A grant, for those who don't know, that's free money that you don't have to pay back. A loan, you have to pay back, but grants are free for you to keep and use how you want. So you won't know that unless you apply for the FAFSA. Colleges view your FAFSA and determine whether they will offer you based on what you need. So it's important for you to have that so that they can get that information. FAFSA.gov, never pay to complete the FAFSA. Go through FAFSA.gov. Ms. Orpert, anything to add to that?
No, well, except there is a deadline to complete the FAFSA, so we just need to make sure we get it done this semester. Because if you don't fill it out by a certain date, the beginning of next semester, you do not qualify for the Tennessee Promise. And that's free money for college. We don't want to leave any of that sitting on the table.
No, that would be tragic. So let's make sure we get it all done on time. Show me the money. Scholarships come from different sources. The college you attend can offer specific scholarships. There are state incentives through the Hope and the TN Promise. Private organizations, businesses, churches, community groups. We do have a page on our website towards the bottom where you can get a whole mess of scholarship information. So you seniors and you juniors, really, start looking at that now and wrapping your brain around what are some specific scholarships you may like to pursue, and then what are the things that you need to do starting right now to work towards that. You juniors, it may seem like that's not important now or that it's a long ways off, but I promise you, any effort you put towards that now, you're going to be happy you did in the long run. So don't wait until it's too late. Start working on that stuff now. Does your parent work in a business that traditionally offers scholarships? That's good information for you to understand as well. Grants are gifts. They're gift aid awarded to students based on financial need. They typically come from the state government, federal government, or nonprofit organizations and schools. Again, grants, they're yours. You do not have to pay those back. It's free money. Loans, money that you borrow with the expectation that you'll pay it back within a deadline laid out by the lender. So a subsidized Stafford loan, they're available to undergrad students with financial need, and recipients are not responsible for paying the interest charges on the loan while in school. Unsubsidized Stafford loans are available to undergrads and graduate students who meet the eligibility requirements, but there is no requirement to demonstrate financial need. So they just give you that based on your application, essentially. Perkins loans are available to undergraduate and graduate students with exceptional financial need, and then Direct Plus loans are available to eligible grad students and parents. Those are things that will be more clear to you after you fill out the FAFSA. You will see which areas that you qualify for, and then you can kind of dig into those once you find out what you qualify for. But it all starts with that FAFSA application. You've heard us talk about the TN Promise. You seniors, I know, have heard about this already, and you juniors probably have too. But the last dollar scholarship for community college, TCATs, and some four-year anniversaries. Oh my gosh, universities. The November is, I'm losing my mind. I can't read. The deadline is November 2nd. Ms. Orpert, do you want to expand on what that means when they say last dollar scholarship?
Sure.
It means?
Sure. If, for example, you qualify, you complete the FAFSA and you qualify for some grant money, maybe you qualify for $1,000 in grant money a year. That's $500 a semester. Tennessee Promise is going to pay the tuition difference at a 2-year school, whatever the difference is. So you've already got $500 a semester. Pellissippi, for example, cost about $2,000 a semester. Tennessee Promise would pay $1,500 a semester to equal the tuition and mandatory fees. with Tennessee Promise, you don't get to keep any extra money in your pocket, okay? It's not like a grant where they give you the money and then you could use it for, you know, if you have grant money left over, you could use it for different things. Tennessee Promise is last dollar. It's going to pay for whatever grants do not cover. If you get another scholarship, you're awarded a scholarship directly from Pellissippi for $500 a semester, plus $500 in grants. Tennessee Promise would pay the other $1,000 a semester. So it's just there to cover the cost of tuition and mandatory fees that are not covered by other grants or scholarships.
So with that, the Tennessee Promise has some specific requirements that you have to meet in order to be eligible. The deadline is November 2nd. There's a fall meeting where you're going to view some informational things once the link is emailed. I'm trying to understand what that means, Ms. Orbert. Can you tell me what that means? View informational session once the link is emailed. So I'm assuming we've not gotten that link yet, and we'll send that out. Okay.
The children are going to get a link sent to their email. The majority of kids have already applied for Tennessee Promise, whether they were virtual or in person. I've been trying to meet even with the virtual students, and they will get information sent to whatever email they choose, whether it's their personal email or their school email, and they've really got to keep track of that, because if they miss any of these deadlines, they lose promise money, $2,000 a semester paid at a two-year college. So they've really got to keep track of these deadlines. I am reaching out to all of the other students who have not already completed the Tennessee Promise, because I really want to make sure we get this done. I am keeping a list. If your student, or you are not sure if your student has completed it, your student's not sure, have them call me or email me, and we'll take a look at it. We'll walk through it together.
And rest assured, we will be in touch, about each of these steps as they come up. So if you've not gotten this information yet, you will get it when we get it. So there's a fall meeting. There's also a spring meeting. And like Ms. Orbert said, those are not optional. You have to view those when they come up. Another important one to think about is you have got to have 8 hours of community service by July of 21. That's next year, obviously, but that'll sneak up on you. So make sure you're thinking about where you're going to receive your 8 hours of community service. And then finally, you have to complete the FAFSA before February 1st, and we will help you get that done. The Hope Scholarship is a different one. That's for schools in Tennessee specifically. A 4-year institution will have up to $1,750 per semester for the first 2 years, and then up to $2,250 per semester for your junior and senior year. You must have either a minimum GPA of 3.0 or a 21 on the ACT to be Hope eligible. And parents must complete the FAFSA after October 1st of their senior year. So you've got to have a specific GPA and ACT to be eligible for that. Keep that in mind. The UT Promise, the accurate, verifiable total combined amount of parent and student adjusted gross income and untaxed income of less than $50,000. So there is an income threshold there. UT Promise application must be completed by November 1st. You must apply for admission to UT before September 15th. That's any of the UTs, Knoxville, Martin, Memphis, or Chattanooga. And then you've got to fill out the FAFSA by February 1st. And you also must be Hope eligible. So all those same requirements in terms of GPA and ACT, those still apply. Now what? Discuss your goals with your family. What are you trying to work towards? What is it that you're doing right now to help yourself reach those goals? Memorize dates and deadlines. Those will sneak up on you. You've got to, move up. You've got to be aware of. Sorry, I had one of my children got distracted. Be aware of what's coming up because it will sneak up on you before you know it. Don't wait to work on your resume. Work on your resume now. That essay, find out what scholarship you're looking for. Work on those now. Don't wait until the last minute. Start taking those college visits. Meet with your college reps. If you're thinking about military or going straight into the career field, we've got representatives that you can speak to about that as well. So the moral of the story is that you as juniors and seniors are in these times where we're no longer just talking about the future and you know, when we get there type of things. It's time to talk about these things for real and to start putting your plans in place. We are here to help you with that. That is the goal of our entire school, is to not just prepare you for being upstairs, but to prepare you to use your time upstairs towards whatever goal that you're looking for when it comes to your life past high school. So, you know, dual enrollment is great for a lot of things, but the ultimate goal is that we're preparing you for a successful life after you leave us. So I had given you guys the option to submit some questions beforehand, but we did not receive any. So I'm going to have any last words from Mr. Vickers, Mr. Molchan, or Mr. Orpert? We good? All right. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, or if this presentation didn't clear up things that you were hoping it would, you always are welcome to give us a call, any one of us, or shoot me an email, and we will get those ironed out for you. But I hope you have a great Tuesday night, and we will see you, whether it's virtually or in person, tomorrow morning. Have a great night.